Good afternoon. We are very excited to have you today here with us. We are excited about the music that we're going to get to hear from all these different instruments. We have a music class right up the hall where music has been coming out of here and spreading into the community, and we're excited today to have an excellent musician playing for us. And so I just want to welcome you to this place. My name is Daniel Swanson. I'm pastor of the congregation here, Christ Lutheran Church, and it's a delight to have you here. So Diane, would you come up?
I might have to change this a little bit. Can you hear me? Okay. Hi, everybody, and welcome. So happy to see all of you this afternoon, especially with the time change at the last minute. Thanks, Mike. But seriously, welcome to Christ Lutheran Church. This church has given us the opportunity to meet, to continue with our keyboard classes since our store Keyboard World closed, and I'm so appreciative and so grateful for this church and its congregation for doing that for us. And just a quick note, if you haven't been here before and you need to use the facilities, if you go out these doors, turn right, and then turn left, go all the way back towards the side door, and then turn right again towards the kitchen, you'll see the ladies' room and the men's room. The concert's going to be about an hour, and then following the concert, we are going to gather in this room right on the other side of this wall. We call that the fellowship hall, and we are going to have an ice cream social there afterwards. So we can gather, and somebody made some homemade ice cream in addition to other ice cream that we have. So Bill, thank you so much for doing that for us. We really appreciate it. And without further ado, I want to introduce a man who I've known for, gosh, Mike, 40 some years probably. He worked for Keyboard World for 27 years, went out on his own in 2019, started his own company in York, Pennsylvania, and has the same type of lesson program that we had at Keyboard World. He is an amazing, amazing musician and friend. I know you're going to enjoy every minute of his concert. And everybody, Mike Pusker. Come on up, Mike.
Testing 1, 2. Can you hear me? Okay. Well, it is great to be here, and what a great crowd. Thank you, Diane, for getting all these people here. We've been trying for, gosh, over a year now to put this concert together, and I'm just so glad to be here. Where's my glasses? I noticed that if I did forget my glasses, you guys have loads of glasses like all over the place. My name is Mike Pusker, and I work for Pusker Organ and Piano Music Company, or Pop Music Company. And we teach retirees how to make music for fun, just like Diane does, on keyboard instruments. And my store is in York, Pennsylvania. I worked for Ron and Diane, like Diane said, for 28 years. And now I support Diane's keyboard lesson program that the pastor was talking about that's right around the corner up there. With sales and service and workshops and help sessions and concerts and all kinds of fun stuff. I have a special program that I specifically put together for today for you guys. What I do when I put a program together and play a concert, that's what I mean by a program. When I put a concert together, I pick great songs, I match them to the right organ, and then I use the best features from that organ in order to make those songs come alive. What I usually do is I come up with a program so that my folks can follow along because they want to know what buttons I'm pressing. They want to know how I set the organ up. They want to know what setups I'm using. They want to know what features I'm using. And then it's also nice to actually know the songs and be able to put all that together. So I have a program for you today, for everybody here to follow along with, as long as there's less than 60 people here. But here's the interesting thing. So we've got Diane's class program and students here, and then we've also got some church folks here too. The buttons and all that stuff won't make as much sense to the church folks, but you're still going to have a great time. So I hope I entertain you, educate you a little bit. And who knows, maybe sometime in the future, you'll want to take this hobby up. It's a wonderful hobby. So, Diane, would you like to help me pass out these, the program, and then I'll get started making some great music. Got 17 songs for you guys today. I know. There will be a test after the show. You got 55 minutes. I know who said that. It is good to see all of you. I recognize so many people here today. If I haven't met you, please introduce yourself to me at the ice cream social. Okay. Oh, are you going to make me remember your name? Don't do that. Okay, so when I do concerts for my people, they own all these, just like Diane's people own all these products, and they really love to hear theirs being played. And so I'm going to start off with the Discovery. And one of the things that I like to do when I do these concerts is I like to point out one feature that I really like about that particular instrument. So I'm going to play a couple songs on the Discovery. Isn't it nice to know what I'm going to play? You're like, oh, I like that one. Oh, I don't like that one. So what do I like about the Discovery? What do I like about the Discovery?
It's easy to set up.
What does it say on it?
Well, it says, my name is Mike Oh, no, that's
No, nothing. Keep going, down farther.
Help me out. I don't have my glasses.
Oh,
No problem.
the size, it's small, it'll fit anywhere. Yeah, there we go. Okay, here we go.
1, 2.
Oh, you know, when you're doing a concert, you got to get the first song out of the way. And then just things start rolling downhill, you know what I mean? So I memorize a lot of stuff. I mean, I've been in this business for 35 years, and I've been teaching for probably 25 or 30 years. And, you know, I'm a trained professional. And so you kind of memorize songs. But there's one song that I wanted to play today for you, and I couldn't memorize it. I didn't know it. And that song is the next song I'm going to play on the Discovery, called The Theme from a Summer Place. Beautiful song. Thank you. Thank you. For those of you that don't play one of these, I just press the ending button and and then you get up and kind of walk away as it kind of ends, you know. Okay, I'm going to slide over to the Freedom 3, which is actually on that side. And I've got several songs I'm going to play on this, and I may just Let me just take this with me and kind of go over here. I just got done doing a gospel concert, and so and it was all gospel music, and some of the songs were so great. I just said I got to figure out how to fit these into this concert here. So I'm going to play on the Freedom 3, which is actually the newest model in the line, and I'm going to play Joshua Fit the Battle of Jericho. And I had my students, they would say, no, it's fought the battle. No, see, you know, right? Okay. Should I be turning this off? Okay. Tell you what, I'll just try to do that. Or actually, you're very quick. That's great. So some of the students here, some of you guys have styles on your organ with minor introductions, and then you also have styles on your instrument that are what we call signature styles, and these are styles that remind you of a certain song or a certain style or a certain group. So see if you can guess what this one sounds like. I'm going to be playing a minor chord, and you're going to get a different introduction. See if you can guess what it is. The clue is right on the paper. Joshua, exactly. And that's what a signature style is. Remind you of a certain song. Am I on or no? I okay. I can try to do it too. Okay, I'm going to play a couple more songs on here. So, who made Crazy popular? Who? Patsy Cline. So I'm going to do it, and I know a lot of Patsy Cline fans out there. So I'm going to play Crazy with a brand new style. And one of the features I'm going to be using is I'm going to be bending the note a little bit with my foot. So you'll see my leg kind of move, and you'll hear the notes kind of bend, because you hear that a lot in country music, like with a steel guitar or a country guitar. Thank you. Playing by ear, you know. So down in these parts, they say that, so we're pretty close to West Virginia, right? But Lou always used to say that, West. He left the Virginia part off of it. He just called it West by God. So there was an artist back in the 70s, played guitar, first name was John, wrote a song all about West Virginia, right? John Denver. Oh, thank you. I didn't know that. So this uses actually an acoustic guitar style, which is pretty cool. You know, you hear the drums and you hear the bass and you hear all these different things, and we call those full band styles. Well, some of the music that we're playing now, you know, today's retirees are a lot younger than they used to be. And so, you know, you're in the late 60s, you're into the 70s, and music kind of changed a little bit. You had like Elton John and Billy Joel and Glenn Campbell and John Denver, or John, what's his name, right? So he just played guitar, so we've got a kind of a guitar going on here. And I'm going to use Song Setup. Song Setup is a feature that kind of takes all the guesswork out of what buttons to press. So I'm going to look for Country Roads, and there it is. Testing? No. So you'll notice that on your program, there's a lot of different songs. So it's kind of a variety. And I kind of wanted to do that on purpose because, you know, everybody likes something a little bit different. I mean, down here, they do like country music. So you'll notice there's a lot of country music on there. But there's some 70s, there's some 60s, there's some gospel, and even a couple of surprises too. Although they're not a surprise if they're on the program, are they? I don't know why I said that. Anyways, so I'm going to play one more on the Freedom, and it's got another signature style that really reminds you of Bill Haley and the Comets. I know this goes back a little bit. It's the beginning of rock and roll in like 1955, but you're going to hear the drummer with the sticks. He actually kind of hits the side of the snare drum. And you're going to hear the intro. The intro always gives it away. If it's a signature style, when you hear that intro, it always gives it away, and you'll know exactly what song you should be playing with it. So a little Bill Haley and the Comets, rock. songs ago, I transposed everything up a little bit, and then I kept forgetting to hit the home button and the reset button. Anybody ever forget to hit the home button and the reset button? Diane's waving her hand back there. She's the only one. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, and then things just don't go right if you don't do that, right? So, yeah, but so for me, I play a little bit by ear, but I memorize. Testing 1, 2. I'll get it. I'll figure it out. I play a little bit by ear, and I told you I memorize too. So if something's been transposed, it really messes with my head. It sounds different, and if I'm trying to play something by ear, it just doesn't sound right, and then I'll get lost in the song. But luckily, I didn't. So what's next? I'm sliding over to the Easy 4, and I know we have Easy 4 and Easy 10 owners and fanfare owners and stuff like that. The neat thing I like about, where's the Easy 4? The neat thing I like about that is that I can change sounds very quickly. I'll just drop my hand to the lower keyboard. And so that's kind of one of my favorite features of this. Ooh, I've got a couple of neat surprises on here. So I'm going to play one of the songs that I did in my gospel concert a couple weeks ago. And how am I doing this? There's a style called gospel ballad, and it's really an interesting style. It's a nice piano style, but it's not just straightforward. There's a little bit of syncopation going on, and the pianist and the guitarist styles, again, are, if you're trying to play a song that maybe Billy Joel did, or Elton John did, or John Denver did, you want to sound authentic. And so you want to sound like a piano or you sound like a guitar. In other words, the organs of the past had what we call full band styles, and you've got the drummer and the bass and the guitar player and the piano player, but all together. But sometimes you want just a guitar player or just a piano player. So in this case, this is going to be the church pianist is going to be playing along in the background. And I can't remember whether I bring the drummer in or not. The drummer's there, but on the pianist and the guitarist styles, you just hear a piano. You just hear a guitar. And you'll hear it on the intro, and then you'll hear it when I play it. So, what a friend we have in Jesus with the gospel ballad. you know, one of the things I'd like to do, yes. Hi. Oh, was it? So much for playing by ear. Well, how'd you like it? Good, all right. How does the other one go? Wow. Did you? Now, didn't I say there'd be a surprise today? I did say that. Did I just turn myself off? Okay. All right, got to keep moving here. Thank you, though. That's funny. All right, so Meow, what is he talking about? So this is a great old song. Everybody knows this song, I think. Alley Cat. There's a bonus style on the Easy 4, and it uses a ragtime style, but this is really fun. Was that Alley Cat? Oh, good. I played the right song. That's great. Okay, so what's next? Oh, what a great song. I just recently learned this song. I didn't really know this song. It's actually a fairly simple song to play. I'm going to play it in F, which is a little harder. You have a B flat in there. But I'm going to use a feature. You ever see like a church organist? Well, they do this down south where they're all over the place and they're playing notes all over and you've probably seen it in rock and roll bands and stuff where somebody kind of takes a solo and they play solo. You can't hear them. No, I'm just kidding. So a solo is kind of like where they play notes that are not on the music, and it just they kind of do it for like, hey, take it away, and they do it a little bit, and then it comes back to the music in the band. So there's a feature called Fake It. Because it's really hard to learn how to do soloing. I mean, you've got to be a professional musician. And so there's a button called Fake It, and if you turn that button on, you just wiggle your fingers on the keys. And if you wiggle your fingers on the keys, it'll actually play the right notes. And it'll play the right notes, and it sounds great. And the neat thing about it is you can change different styles, like you can play big band, or you could play Latin, or you could play a waltz, or you can play whatever, and it will do the right type of notes that will sound good for that type of song. So it sounds pretty good with gospel, and this is kind of the fast gospel. It's called hand clapping, so this one's kind of fast, so hold on to your seat, and when I start soloing, you're gonna feel the wind, like just Could you hear the notes that like weren't part of the song that you recognize? So what was I doing? Wiggling my fingers. Just wiggling my fingers. All right, I'm going to slide over to the easy 10 and I'm going to play for my own amazement. That's why most of us play, right? You play because most people love music. People that end up playing their own music and making their own music, which is what Diane teaches you how to do. It's what I teach you how to do. There's nothing like that. There's no hobby like making your own music. There's lots of hobbies. And it's an all-weather hobby too, because, I mean, gosh, in the wintertime, does it snow in West Virginia? Well, there you go. Great hobby down there too, West by God. So I'm going to slide over to the easy 10, and I've got 12 sounds to pick from now. So whenever I want to change sounds, I can just touch 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. It's right in front of me, and kind of up on the dashboard, I guess you would say. I'm going to take a guitarist style. And I learned this from one of the artists. There was an artist named Seth Rye. He's no longer with us, but he was amazing. And he was an artist that goes way back into the 60s. He was a Lowery artist for a lot of years. And, you know, the artists would go around the country and the world, and they would make the instruments sound great. And I learned this from Seth maybe 10, 12 years ago or so. A new organ came out. And he took one of the guitarist styles and he sped it up. And he sped it up to like 220, which if you play organ at all, you know, that's you're going to get a ticket. And believe me, Diane will give you one. And anyway, so I just I watched him play this song and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. So the artist was Glenn Campbell, and the song is Gentle on My Mind. Well, you've got the paper, I don't. That's why I gave it to you, keep me on track. Oh. So it comes up to 140, I'm going to put it up to like 220. I know, it sounds really fast. But I'm not playing it double time, I'm just going to play it, but I want the guitar. Did you hear me transpose it a little bit? A couple times? Okay, I'm going to play. You heard me play Ali here. So I'm going to play a little bit of a ragtime medley, but I'm going to start off with the entertainer. And I'm going to use a couple of those additional setups that I have there that I just touch it and everything changes. And there's some really funny sounds that are kind of in there. And I don't know what it is, but everybody loves the barnyard animals when they come out of an organ. You know what I mean? Some of you are like, what's he talking about? So I'm going to play the entertainer. Anybody remember the movie that came from? The Sting, very good. Yeah, so there's cats and there's dogs and there's chickens and there's all kinds of stuff in there, right? So how y'all doing? How's the music so far? Okay, good. Got a few more for you. In the mid '60s, there was a band called the Animals, and they were a little edgy, I think, at the time, and they had a lot of songs, a lot of hits, but this is one of their biggest ones. Maybe it was their biggest one, and it had a very interesting guitar part in the song. So again, if you're going to play the song, you kind of need that guitar part, and it's a 6/8 time. If you don't know anything about music, it's just kind of the way that they count the beats. But the way that the guitar would be picked, they actually call the style 6/8 guitar. It is a signature style because when you hear the intro, you'll know what's coming. And the reason why you'll know what's coming is because I'm going to play a minor chord for the intro, because that's going to cause the organ to go to a different place and give that minor introduction, because this song, House of the Rising Sun, is actually in a minor key. So if I were to do a major chord, you'd hear a different introduction. When I play the minor chord, you're going to hear House of the Rising Sun. Kicks. Here's a major chord, and it probably won't sound like House of the Rising Sun. Here's the minor. I knew I was doing a concert in a church today. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to play that song in church. Okay, well, I've got one more on the Easy 10, and this is a fun one. I don't think, you won't hear this song that much anymore. I forget the band who made it popular, Yakety Sax. Yeah. I didn't do any research. I was relying on you guys for that. Think about it. Oh, somebody will find it. What is it? Yes, that's it. Boots Randolph. All right, so I'm going to play Yakety Sax, but I'm going to add a little twist to it. It's going to make it a little more fun. And what style am I using? You know what? Checking 1, 2. Oh. There's cats, there's dogs, there's trains, whistles. Yeah. So I was touching the fill button and I was doing it with my foot because, when your fingers are flying like that, it's like, well, how do I? When your fingers are on the keyboard, it's hard to reach over and touch that fill. So I just kind of, you'll see my right leg move a little bit, and that kind of makes the band do something different. And what happens on the train background is you hear the whistle toot, right? So, all right, am I done with the 10? Oh, that was a great one to end with. So I'm going to slide over to the organ that I have in the middle here. This is the one that looks like the cockpit of a 747. We used to go to fairs and carnivals and different things like that, and we'd have our Lowery organ display, and we'd be making music for people all day long, and I'd be sitting there playing. That was my job, and Ron made me do it. And you know what a meanie he was. And but people would walk by all day long, and if you were playing at one of the big ones, they would go, "That looks like the cockpit of a 747. And so we're like, hey, we should get a sign that says that. And we put the sign on the big one, right? And people, or whatever the biggest one we had, and people would walk by, and the sign was right on it, but they haven't seen the sign yet. I know it. And they would go, "Hey, honey, that looks like the cockpit of a 747. And it's like the sign's right on it, but they weren't looking at the sign. It was just really kind of ironic and kind of funny. So let me play a couple songs on the fanfare, and then we're going to have some wonderful ice cream for you. And if I haven't met you, please introduce yourself. I'd love to meet you. So what's next? What am I doing on the fanfare? Last date. So Floyd Kramer was a piano player. Nobody knows Floyd Kramer anymore. Maybe around here they do. Wonderful, if you're over 60, maybe. wonderful piano player. Floyd had a very specific way of making harmony. And what would happen is he would take a piano, the melody note, and he would add harmony to it. Now, what you normally would do is you would add harmony, which kind of makes it sound better and it fills it up. So in other words, the note that you're playing with your one finger, you would add a second note to it and maybe a third note to it. And we have buttons that do that too. There's duet, and then there's AOC, and there's trio, and then there's more than that. But Floyd would do something different. He'd put the harmony above the note, okay? And then you had to play it a certain way. So you were always playing that harmony, and then your other fingers would kind of move around. And so it kind of sounds like this. I could probably show you. So here's the note. Right? Did I transpose that? I did. See, my ears heard it. So he would take the harmony then and put it up here. And then every now and then he would take his finger and slide it off a black key onto a white key, and we call that a grace note. And it sounds really cool. So it's like, well, don't worry, that only takes about 30 years to learn how to do. So they put a button called Country Harmony on here, and so I'm going to use that on the fanfare and play Last Date. And there's actually a style on here called Floyd's piano. So we would call that a signature style. This song probably doesn't need an introduction, but I'm going to use a style on it, which is kind of a 50s style. It's called bandstand. And it has a really neat organ solo. And I'm not going to use fake it on this. I'm actually going to do it. It's not real hard to do, but for a trained professional. So the song is Runaway. And I think, is it Del Shannon? Is that who did that? Oh, look at all that. Boy, you guys know instantly. All right. There was a period of time, I think it was 1957 to 1962. This is what the history books say, that doo-wop was really popular. And that song kind of reminds me of that. That style, that bandstand style, you hear a double snare, doom, pop, pop, pop. So that's kind of really characterized that music. A lot of music from that era that you can play. It sounds good on Lowery organs. The next song I'm going to play is, I'm going to use a guitarist style because John Denver also made this popular. And there'll be some other instruments in there, but this is another signature style because when you hear the intro, you'll know what song's coming next. Okay, you recognize that one? Are you recognizing all these songs? Am I playing stuff you like? Oh, good. Are you learning something? Oh, good. Because the test is coming real soon. Got 2 more songs. Oh, you've been a great audience. Thank you so much. So I'm going to play 2 more songs, but I'm going to play 1 more song on the fanfare, and this song really kind of goes back to World War II in the 1940s, and there was a group back then called the Andrew Sisters, right? There was 3 of them, and they sang lots of different music, and it was fun. You could dance to it, you could move around to it, and right now it's okay if you just kind of want to move your leg. That's all right, but I'm going to use a style called boogie piano. So it's exactly what it sounds like. Lowery really, I think, did a great job at when you press a style on there and you see the name of that style. They did a really good job naming the styles. So boogie, you think of boogie woogie, right? And piano, you're going to hear a piano. And I'm going to bring in the band at some point, which I've been doing. I haven't always told you that I've been doing that, but I'll start off with like the John Denver song. I start off with a guitar, and then I kind of brought in strings, and I brought in the drums and all that. And I don't have to press a lot of buttons. All I got to do is press 1. So I'm going to start off with a kind of a piano background, and then I'll bring the rest of the band in. So here's the Andrew Sisters and Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy. And I hope you've enjoyed the concert. Stick around after the show. Diane's got some great ice cream and toppings, I'm assuming. Anybody have any questions for me?
How come when I play it don't sound like that?
That's a great question.
And I thought I was good.
Well, and I thought I had an answer for every question. You are good. I've heard you play.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
But mine don't sound like that.
Yeah. Well, you can. Yes, there are new products, and yes, you can. And I've got 240 of them. They might fill this sanctuary if you stack them on top of each other all the way to the ceiling. Well, I tell you what, talk to me after the show because it's a complicated answer. Other questions? Anything's for sale? Yes. They're always for sale. No, they're not for sale. They're mine. You can't have them. I want all 5 of them. Good question. Any other questions about some of the buttons that I was pressing, the organs I was playing on, the setups that I was using? Yes. That's actually in there. They did that at the factory. Those are, I didn't point that out, but I should have. Those are vocal sounds. It's actually a real person singing, and then they put it in the organ, and when you play a key, it brings out that voice on the correct key. And if you play with more than one finger or you add your harmony, you get several of them all at the same time. Yeah. Very cool.
You could hear, it was like somebody counting 1, 2.
Which one was that?
I think it was that one.
Oh yeah, some of the new styles have voices in their counting. Yeah, I mean there's one here.
One, two.
Is that the one you were talking about? Yeah. Yep, there's voices in there. There's all kinds of fun stuff in there, and that's what it is. It's fun stuff. You know, this is a hobby that's a for fun hobby. You know, we're not going to Carnegie Hall unless we rent a bus, right? But that's what Diane's doing. That's what I'm doing. You know, we're teaching retirees how to make music for fun on these products, and it's a whole lot of fun. It's a wonderful, wonderful hobby. And I'm so glad that you let me come down here and play for you and make music today, show you how these work. I am available all the time. I'm supporting Diane's classes. She's doing a great job down here. Got lots of students and lots of classes throughout the week. I try to get down when I can. I teach my own set of classes, and I've got my own set of students. But I really love being involved with you guys. And I mean, I worked for them for 28 years. And so she's holding you guys together, which I think is fantastic. So I get down whenever I can. We really wanted to do this so that we could then kind of pave the way for future concerts, and maybe every season I come down here and do something like this. And I'm going to be doing other things. I'll be doing workshops, and I'm even available for one-on-one stuff too. I'm happy to help you grow in the hobby. That's what Diane and I are doing. We just want to see you grow in the hobby. And you know, people they get inspired. You know, one of the reasons why I started doing concerts is because we didn't see the artists as much. There were guys that full time would fly around the country and play concerts for dealers and show off the products, and we just didn't see them as much. And I'm like, well, I kind of like doing that, so I do it for my own people, and I'll do it out if I can, if I have the time. And really love being involved with Diane's program. And so, you know, making these things sing is fun. I think it's inspiring because when you own these, you're like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. And oh, what does that do? And do I have that on mine? And that's all good stuff. It kind of stirs the pot and it gets you growing. So kind of starts with the concerts. They're very inspiring. They're educational. The workshops are a little more educational. I'll be coming down and doing some of those too. And those will be for a smaller group of people that, you know, maybe you own this one or that one or a couple of these, you know, and we'll kind of group you together. Those are really, really productive and really help you learn your instrument. So good questions. Any other questions before I play my last number? Got ice cream that's melting. She says we got to go. Okay. So thank you so much for coming out today. It's been a pleasure being here. I'm going to play one more song for you. And then we're going to have some ice cream. So this is a Disney medley. It started off as one song, and I'm like, wait a second, I could play lots of songs to this particular style. And I'm going to attempt one that's kind of hard. So you'll love it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Disney. So much. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. My pleasure. My pleasure.
It's great. It was so great to have you here today.
Oh, thank
We
you.
appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much.
You are amazing.
Thank you. Thank
You're an
you.
amazing musician.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Enjoyed
much.
it.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it so
yeah.
much. If any of you would like to see our classroom, other than our students who come every week, you're welcome to do that. It's just right up the ramp at the top of the steps to the left. So I'll open the doors, put the lights on. If you want to just take a look around there, you're certainly welcome.
Wonderful idea. Yeah.
And it's newly painted, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Curtains are up to go. The curtains are next. New curtains,
Yeah.
yeah. So.
Thank
we
you.
are now
Thank you.
invited-
Thank you. Go have ice cream.
Yep. Let's
Thank
go.
you.